Okay, first thing on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda. On the agenda, I would like to switch items 10 and 11. The ordinance amending Chapter 92, move it behind public comments, along with removing 2D, approval of 10% match for PR 5092. Bring it out of the consent agenda and make it item 2B. And I bring that in form of a motion. Do we have any discussion about that? All in favor? Aye. All right, so those amendments have been made. Now we will approve the consent agenda.
Move to approve, sir.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Cecina. Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. So the consent agenda is approved. We'll move to planning board recommendations. Josh?
Good evening, Commissioners. You have in front of you the Planning Board's one recommendation from April 7th.
Josh?
Yes.
We need to move 2B, go to 2B. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, I apologize.
Hang tight, Josh.
Just hang tight where you at. David's going to handle the...
Yeah, this will be brief. Thank you, Chairman. Appreciate y'all pulling that from the consent. So this is, we put it in the consent originally because this is a PR 5092. It's approval of a match. I'm asking the board to consider this for the airport. We have a taxiway and runway lighting that needs to be rehabbed. This has been a long-standing project. The state has recently reached out to us, Division of Aviation, and stated that they have additional state aid monies that they're willing to give us for this project. What usually happens is so much of this money is assigned to airports across the state, and if some airports don't claim the money for projects because of delays or other issues, they can revert those monies and then divert them, to other projects that are viable. This is one that we're ready for. But it does require a 10% match. The difference here is why we asked to pull it is because the original expectation was a $2 million project. They just emailed us today, earlier today, to let us know that this is about a $3.5 million project. So I'm asking the board to approve up to a $350,000 match for this project.
And that project will be for new lights, electrical wires, conduit, the whole new system at the airport?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Rehabbing that entire runway taxiway area.
Okay.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'll move that we approve the 10% match of $350,000.
Okay. We have that in form of a motion by Commissioner Cecina. Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All right, so that is approved. Please proceed. All right. Now to Josh.
No problem. So after the public hearings held on April 7th, the Planning Board held deliberations and made a formal recommendation regarding zoning map amendment number 747. Donald Hickman was the applicant. This was a request to rezone 1.23 acres parcel from RSF residential single family to RT residential transitional, and the property is located on the east side of River Road, about 400 feet south of Hull McGinnis Road in the Lincolnton Township. The Planning Board voted 7-0 to recommend approval, and I'll be glad to answer any questions you have.
Does anyone have any questions for Josh? Okay. I will entertain a motion to adopt the statement of consistency and reasonableness as presented by the Planning Board. So moved. We have a motion by Commissioner Mullen. Any discussion? All right, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. I will entertain a motion to approve ZMA 747.
So moved.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Patton. Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. It is approved.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioners.
All right, we'll move to item number 4, approval of proclamation. Second.
I've got a proclamation here.
Yep.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
So, I guess I'm here this evening for the proclamation commemorating the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln County Public Library that opened on May 5th in 1925, and through the years was supported by both the city and the county, as well as private individuals and donors in the community. And so We are grateful for the support that has continued to this day and the ability to have expanded library services, not just from one central facility, but to branches throughout Lincoln County.
Okay, and I think Bud has the proclamation to read.
I do, and please bear with me. Whereas the Lincoln County Public Library is celebrating the beginning of its centennial year in May of 2025, and whereas the first public library in Lincoln County was organized by members of the Sororitas Club with support from other community organizations who believe that every town needs a good library and wanted to honor local soldiers, and whereas the Lincoln Memorial Library opened on May the 5th of 2025 in the UDC Memorial Hall with Ms. Frances Flair serving as the first librarian, and was made free to the public in 1934 when both the town of Lincolnton and the county began contributing towards its maintenance, and whereas access to materials and resources was expanded with bookmobile service was added in 1948, the first branch of Eastern Lincoln County opened in 1980, and a western branch opened in 2002. And whereas over the years, the Lincoln County Public Library has grown both in building size with the construction of the Charles R. Jonas Library, the Florence S. Shanklin Library, and the West Lincoln Branch Library in services to accommodate the ever-changing needs and interests of the community. And whereas the Lincoln County Public Library provides access to books, materials, technology programs, which foster a love of reading, promote literacy, encourage economic growth, and connect citizens in the digital world. And whereas the Lincoln County Public Library plays an integral part in the intellectual, educational, and recreational health, well-being of our community through its mission to cultivate lifelong learners and facilitate connections that build community. And now, therefore, the Lincoln County Board of County Commissioners do hereby declare May 2025 through April 2026 the year of the Lincoln County Public Library in honor of its 100th anniversary, and encourage all of its citizens to join us in extending sincere gratitude to its staff, trustees, and volunteers, both past and present, for their accomplishments and dedication and commitment to the residents of Lincoln County with displays of support and personal messages. This, the 21st day of April 2025. We need to change that one there. Down there on the end, we need to change the date on this.
All right, thank you, Bud. Do you bring that in form of a motion?
I do move that, sir.
Okay, we have that in form of a motion by Commissioner Cecina. Any discussion? All right, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
So that proclamation has passed. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move to number 5, BOA number 5, Deanna Rios.
Good evening, Commissioners. Tonight, I'm bringing to you Budget Ordinance Amendment Number 5. Pretty standard. It's just appropriating some revenues from some closed projects in the general CIP fund, and in conjunction with that, we're going to reduce fund balance appropriated in the general fund. There's some rent revenues, donations, and miscellaneous revenues that need to be budgeted. There's some state revenue increases for senior services and veterans that we're budgeting. And we're recognizing some intergovernmental revenues and budget that in the historical association lines, and some additional commissary revenues because they need to purchase a steamer, and then some additional revenues for the Register of Deeds, and we have to budget the expenditure on the state side for the fees we have to pay the state from his revenues. And then we're appropriating some fund balance and transferring it to the special revenue fund, and to budget some additional interest on our debt that was not done for the detention facility project, and to appropriate the additional proceeds of financing for that same financing. And then we have finally figured out where to budget the McKinsey opioid settlements, so that's what we're doing here. And we're also appropriating some fund balance in the federal law enforcement fund for some necessary expenditures for the sheriff's office. Any questions on any of these?
Okay, do we have any questions for Deanna?
No, sir.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to approve BOA number 5 as presented.
So moved.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Mullen. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that is approved.
Thank you for that.
You've got number 6 on the agenda.
I do. And this is the audit contract for the Airport Authority. Since you, as a Board of Commissioners, is actually the Board of the Airport Authority with the authority to contract. So this is the standard audit contract, just like the counties. Obviously, it's nowhere near as pricey as the counties because they don't have, the Airport Authority doesn't have that many special projects that need to be audited. But the contract does come to you for approval so that the auditors can jump on that next month when they come to start our pre-audit.
Okay, does anyone have any questions for Deanna on this item? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the auditor and audit contract FY '26 for the Lincoln County Airport Authority.
So moved, sir.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Carpenter. Any discussion? All right, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so that is approved. Thank you. Number 7, John Henry, Academy Street Flag Plaza Contract Award. You've got the next 3 for us here.
Good evening, Commissioners. The first item, the Academy Street Flag Plaza Contract Award. The board asked us to design and construct a plaza at 302 North Academy Street. We received bids on April 3rd, 2025. 3 contractors submitted, Moss Marlowe being the lowest bid. The bid tab is attached to this agenda item. I need 2 actions tonight. The first one, I need the board to approve funding for this project in the amount of $199,900. This includes a $10,000 contingency. And then the second action is award the construction contract to Moss Marlowe in the amount of $189,900. Does anyone have any questions?
Anyone have any questions?
Is what you want? Is it the one you want?
Yeah.
So Alex, you're good with that?
Yeah, I did ask him for a picture of it. He sent me the drawings today.
Okay.
Looks good.
So you need 2 different items on this agenda right here?
Yes, sir. The first one would be approved funding for the project so we can create a budget. And then the second would be award of the construction contract.
Okay, we'll start with the approval of the budget.
Move we approve.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Patton. Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, so that one's passed, and now we need a motion to award the contract.
Move we approve.
All right, we have a motion to award the contract by Commissioner Patton. Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. That's
Thank you.
approved.
Thanks to each of you.
All right, number 8, John.
This is the Animal Services Facility Guaranteed Maximum Price. Hickory Construction issued and opened bids. We performed scope reviews with all low bid subs. The item was submitted for a GMP of $15,308,882. However, at the budget retreat a couple weeks ago, it was asked to bring back a couple of pricing options, and I've got those right here. I'm going to go through them real quick, and I'm going to tell you what you're getting at each price point. I'm going to start with our complete base bid, which came in at $13,252,956. This is a 21,845 square foot facility. You're getting a new surgical suite, you're getting an office suite, you're not increasing kennel space at this price point. In the bids, we did do 3 bid alternates. This is the next price I want to give you. In this price, you have all heavy-duty pavement around the facility. You have an 8-foot fence at the dog play area. The base bid was 6. It's recommended that it be 8. And then we have the alternate dog adoption area. That GMP would be $13,880,782. That adds 1,326 square feet for the dog adoption court And that brings your total square foot price to your total square footage to $23,171. Any questions there?
Does that increase the kennel space?
That increases the kennel space, yes, sir, by, sir? No, yeah, I'm sorry, it increases the square footage by 1,326 square feet. They,
How many more
I
additional
think it's
kennels?
12. Is it 8? I'd have to look at the drawings. And this is in the adoption court where, on the front side of the building.
That's 8 more kennels than we currently have right this minute.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And we're still at 13 million something.
Yes, sir, we're at $13,880,782.
Okay.
All right, the final option at $15,308,882. This adds back in the training room that we had to cut out at 736 square feet. I'm sorry, 737 square feet. This also adds 693 to the dog hold area in the back, the quarantine and court hold area. That increases that kennel space by 8. It also adds another cat room at 325 square feet. This adds another 1,755 square feet to the project, bringing the building size to 24,926 square feet. There's a couple of other things that we opted for that would help maintenance and also help with Department of Agricultural inspections. Those include sunshades over the play areas. It also includes canine turf in the dog runs. Let's see, we also paving the storage area that is currently gravel where they would put their trailers. So I'm asking the board tonight to approve one of these 3 GMPs, and we will make a change with Hickory Construction depending on what is voted on tonight.
So John, if we go with the 15,308,882, give me just a clue of how long this building, we should be able to be in this building.
I think if we increase this at the $15 million mark, I think this gives us 15 to 20 years projected. As you know, we have a tendency to turn things into longer as we get down the road, but right now I feel comfortable saying 15 to 20 years.
And does that allow us any, does the design of the building allow us to expand anywhere that relatively easy like we did
Yes,
the
sir.
library?
So if you look at the drawing that we have on the left side, you've got your adoption court up front and you have your dog hold area in the back. If we add that 693 square foot to the back, it actually squares the building off. Then you have a court outside where it could be infilled at a later date. And it's already in the base bid to grade that area for future expansion.
Okay. And can I ask how animal control staff feels about the whole thing?
If Janet wants to come up here, I'll let her talk.
Okay.
Good evening, Commissioners. Thank you for allowing me to come to speak. We're very excited about the expansion. I believe it will allow us to increase our services that we provide to the public, as well as focus on some of these longer-term holding animals since we have space back there. It will greatly help us expand our surgical options, which we hope to expand to offer to the public in the future, not just shelter animals. And I'm in support of whatever you guys decide on. I appreciate it.
So Janet, if we go with the 50, let's face it, we started out at 19 million back for 3 or 4, yeah,
Yes,
a long
sir.
time ago. And then, but the cats were watching televisions and we couldn't do that. And so we went down to 14 million in the last board said 14 million. And so now we're at 15, whatever. Are we comfortable that Animal Control Services is not going to come back to us in a year or 5 years and say, hey, we really need to expand this? Because this, I want the very best facility that we can possibly afford, but I don't want to keep doing it 3 or 4 times.
Right.
If that makes sense to y'all?
Right.
Okay.
I am very comfortable if this $15 million bid passes, that we won't have the need to expand.
Okay. Well, my motion will be that we go with the $15 million bid, John.
David had something to add real quick? Or-
I'm sorry.
Well, I just want to make it a little bit, because I appreciate that, Commissioner Cecina, but to kind of add to John's point, you know, we did earmark this for a $14 million project. This project has been ongoing for about 8 years now. Those funds have been set aside in a capital reserve fund that have earned interest. The interest equates approximately about $480,000. So really, if we look at what the budget requirement is, that you adopted at the previous board versus the difference is really not that significant. And what it does allow is it takes us from probably having maybe a 5 to 10 year plan with this to push it out to, like John said, a 15 to 20 year plan. And when we got that original price back the first time that the board adjusted the budget, it was $20 million that came in, right, John? About $600 something a square foot, and that was far exceeded what the board was comfortable with. So they cut, when they had to downsize that design, it cut a lot of those additional spaces out, and this is kind of creating a compromise to add some of that space back to give us that future growth.
Well, I think that a training center for any one of our organizations is important because she's going to have meetings and you're going to be instructing your brand new people, and you just got to have that room in there. I mean, that's very important to me. So I'll renew my motion go with the $15 million.
Okay, I got a question for John.
Oh, I'm sorry.
John, what's the estimated FF&E cost?
I think we're looking around 300 to 400,000. We're working with Carolina Furnishings and Design on getting those numbers in. As soon as I have those, I'll bring those back to the board for approval as well. I want to throw one thing out here real quick before y'all make a vote. There's also, in all three of these prices, $750,000 in contingency per contract. If we don't run into any issues during construction, that money will come back to the county.
So we're going to try and limit our change orders, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And we can use that money for the FF&E?
Yes, we have that potential, yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for John? All right, brother.
So we have a motion on the floor for the 15 million, I can't see it, 308,882. Y'all can't come up with just round numbers, can you?
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Cecina to approve the $15,308,882 GMP contract. Do I have any discussion?
No, just as long as it's built where it's expandable, where we're not building another one at the end of that 20 years, that we can expand this one and keep going.
Yes, sir. We have 3 areas of expansion designed into what we'll start constructing.
Yeah, the last one we built we thought was going to do us a long time, and that didn't
Yes,
pan out
sir.
very well.
Okay, any other discussion? All right, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
All right, we have a 4-1 vote, so it is approved, 4-1. All right, John, we'll go number 9.
Number 9, we are doing the historic courthouse guaranteed maximum price. There's a correction to be made. This is a J.M. Cope project, not Hickory Construction. So J.M. Cope issued and opened bids as CM&R. We did scope reviews with all of our low bids. I'm asking that you accept a GMP of $3.8 million for this construction package, and let me tell you what this includes. We're doing very limited items inside the building. We do not have the funds to do that. The concentration will be mainly outside where we will clean the exterior of the building. The exterior will get sealed. We're putting all new windows in the building. We're adding doors that look historically accurate on all 4 sides. And we are redoing the entire outside grounds area. We are creating a seating area where people would go sit on the lawn, have lunch. We are creating an area for food trucks to come in. And we are also digging down to the footers of the building and waterproofing to fix all of our leak issues that building has. We're also running in a 8-inch fire line. We're running in a new domestic water line. We are correcting, or we are upgrading our sewer our sanitary sewer and our storm sewer. And we are putting a new electrical service in the building. We're not doing any sub-panels. We'll only have a service main that will feed a couple of HVAC units to keep the interior of the building conditioned. So that's what this $3.8 million encompasses on this project. This is what we have from the state. There's no county funds a part of this. One thing I will add is that there will be potential interest revenue that we will need to spend on this project, or we have to give it back to the state. And we can bring that back for approval if we see it's going to be enough to do other portions of this project that we would like to have seen done with the money that we receive from the state.
Okay, thank you, John. Anyone have any questions for John?
Yes, sir. So as the deconstruction of the building has gone, the third floor was added in 1986, am I correct?
You're correct.
And so you have taken everything out of the building, bringing it back to its original form in 1911?
The building is pretty close to what it looked like on the interior like it did in 1922 when it was built.
22, I'm
You
sorry.
have a grand courtroom to a tray ceiling. You have the mezzanine area, seating area, balcony area back that is sloped. The first floor, it is backed to where you've got four divided out areas off of the foyer. All the interior walls inside of each one of those areas was taken out. Those were added between sometime in the 60s and like the 86 renovation. The basement, there it is back to load-bearing walls only, which, as far as we can tell, is what was original to the building when construction was finished. So yes, the interior of that building is pretty close to 1922 at this point, other than there's some holes knocked in walls that from previous renovations that we've not sealed up.
Thank you, John.
Okay, any other questions for John? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve as presented.
So moved, sir.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Cecina. Any discussion? All right, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it.
Thank you,
John.
Commissioners.
Okay, since we moved some things around on the agenda, now we will open up, we have public comments. So this is where we allow citizens to address the board concerning any matter. But let me remind you that we give you 3 minutes to address anything for yourself and 5 minutes for a group. If you are addressing a group, we ask that the group be identified. So first on the list, I have Ashley Oliphant. Did I pronounce that right? Okay. If you
Good
would
evening.
Indicate your name and address.
My name is Ashley Oliphant, 3837 Lakeshore Road, South in Denver. First, I would like to say thank you very much for the vote of a few minutes ago. Your willingness to fund the new shelter in the way that you have is a sign of your commitment to the movement that's really swept this county over the past decade or so. And it was so gratifying to sit in the audience and to hear that. I thank you sincerely. Second thing, in a few moments, you're going to be discussing changes to the Chapter 92 of the Animal Services Ordinance. I'm the chair of the Animal Services Advisory Board and have been for a while. The document that's before you that you're getting ready to consider, it represents years of collaboration and work on behalf of the advisory board. And a lot of really intentional discussion went into trying to figure out the best plan for the sake of public safety. I think a lot of the issues that you're probably going to see in there, really, they matter. And I'm glad that we've come up with something that is hopefully going to address that. As well, that document represents a lot of collaboration between animal shelter staff, animal control officers, and the public. I just wanted to come and, again, thank you and to register my very strong support for the draft of the ordinance you're going to consider momentarily. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next on the list signed up is Ryan Hutchinson. If you would state your name and address when you get to the podium.
Good evening. My name is Ryan Hutchison, 1020 Lowe's Lane, Iron Station. I just want to take a couple minutes to provide you with some context to give you something to think about in your conversation about the upcoming, I guess, exotic animal ordinance. My wife and my daughter were shopping at Walmart back in October of last year, and as they were completing their purchase at the self-checkout, as they were exiting, there was a couple with a monkey. The monkey was in the shopping cart. The lady was in a mobility scooter. They separated, creating a narrow aisle for my wife and daughter to walk through. Wife went through first. My daughter came through second. Looking down, hands in, unprovoked, the monkey came out of the shopping cart, swiping at my daughter, breaking the skin on her arm. It's a little bit traumatic for her. Shared information with the monkey owners, filed an incident report with Walmart, followed up with the sheriff's department. The following day, contacted by the health department, animal control, sheriff's department. Through that whole process, the health department did a fantastic job ensuring that the proper patient protocol was being taken care of. They were able to confirm that the monkey was indeed up to date on its vaccines, but we were also made aware that in that time that this monkey was reported to have bitten a juvenile in Gaston County previously. Ironically, at school, my daughter overheard a student talking about a monkey at Walmart. She asked him what he was talking about. The same day, presumably the same monkey was outside of the cart, attacked him, scratching him on his leg. This was not reported. However, like I said, we presume it was the same monkey, same time frame, same Walmart in Denver. I'm not here to propose that you go one way or the other, but we did learn that ADA recognizes dogs and in some cases miniature horses as service animals. And emotional support animals are not recognized by ADA. So that puts all business owners in kind of a predicament. And if Walmart's legal team can't inform and educate their staff what animals are and are not allowed on their premises, then what kind of exposure we put in the rest of our business owners in that instance. So I'm not sure if any of you had heard some of that story. Sure, some of you had, but wanted to make sure that you were aware of that. Like I said, provide you with a little context for your conversation and for your decision. So thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, last on the list is Gunny Hull. If you will state your name and address.
Yes, sir. County Commissioners, Gunny Hull, 319 North Poplar Street in Lincoln, North Carolina. Y'all just did a proclamation, and I'm not in all the media, so I've missed y'all's proclamation. So I'm going to read you President Trump's basically proclamation. But with that is last year, Joe Biden declared that Easter Sunday would be a day to celebrate transgender people, which is against Constitution, the Bible, and everything else, common sense. But this year, there is a President White House who loves y'all. President Trump issued a Holy Week message celebrating the most holy of holidays. The President wrote about the crucifixion and the resurrection of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, the living Son of God, who conquered death, freed us from sin, and unlocked the gates of heaven for all of humanity. Through his suffering, we have redemption. Through his death, we have forgiveness of our sins. Through his resurrection, we have hope of eternal life. The stone is rolled away, the tomb is empty, and light prevails over darkness, signaling that death does not have the final word. Obama, on the other hand, turned every Christian holiday into a commentary about Islam. But again, President Trump, as we focus on Christ's redeeming sacrifice, we look to his love, humility, and obedience, even in life's most difficult and uncertain moments. The President said, "This week we pray for an outpouring of the Holy Spirit upon our beloved nation. We pray that America will remain a beacon of faith, hope, and freedom for the entire world. And we pray to achieve a future that reflects the truth, beauty, goodness of Christ's eternal kingdom in heaven." This Holy Week, my administration renews its promise to defend the Christian faith in all our schools, military, workplaces, hospital, and halls of government. The President wrote that we will never waver in safeguarding the right to religious liberty and holding the dignity of life and protecting God and our public square. So that's something that our President did, and I'm challenging again you to make the stand that needs to be done, that you have courage that you're supposed to have to do this before our county and our citizens who have voted numerously about different things that stands with the Constitution and the Bible and things that we even added to our Constitution. And this proclamation is what guarantees or brings blessing upon our nation. When we remain silent and do nothing in face of tyranny like we've had before, then it brings a curse upon a nation. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, with that being the last one signed up to speak, is there anyone else in the room? Okay, if you would state your name and address, and
Excuse me, I just had some dental surgery.
can you pull the microphone down so we can hear you?
Okay, I just had some dental surgery, so I'm covered up. I'm Joe Ladd-Zarnock, and I'm one of the founders of Angels to the Animals, and we work with you, especially with animal control and all that all the time. I did send you all a letter today. I'm not going to take up the time in front of everyone, but I really hope that you would consider what the letter says in all its good intent for what is going on between the nursing home and that blank piece of land where these little feral cats have lived for years after being fixed by Dana Pender. That is their home. The administrator of the hospital there does not like cats. He does not realize that feral cats keep other critters away. And I'm asking you to allow us to feed it on county land. And the gentleman there in the nursing home has removed all of our Boy Scouts made cat boxes and all of the paraphernalia that we feed daily up here in Lincolnton, all through your county. I am up in this neighborhood almost every single day feeding feral cats. So I'm just asking that perhaps one of you would answer me outside of here and just say, go ahead, feed these kitties so they don't starve to death. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I ask a quick question? Ma'am, are the cat boxes themselves on county property, or are they on the,
Yes,
are we sure?
I know they are because the gentleman who feeds every day, we have him hidden in the woods. All through the years, the administration of that nursing home has allowed the patients and the residents there to feed this little group of cats. They're all fixed. They're all rabies-free, and the patients love it. They put little dishes of food out for the cats, and they, since they can't have any animals in the nursing home. So the new administrator has informed Mr. John Money, who anyone here in animal control knows him, who is one of the biggest and kindest men you will ever meet in your life. And he works with Angels to the Animals to spay and neuter whatever animals that animal control can't always get to. We do it on our own buck. So all I'm asking is that you allow these 4 or 5 cats, they'll never have babies, to live on that county land. And we hide the houses back in the woods. You don't even know they're there. And they've all been taken. And when John goes to feed, about a half hour later, someone comes out of that nursing home, even though the babies are sitting there eating and drinking, and they remove every single spot of water and food. So if you have a heart, I feed on county land in other areas where there's all kinds of cats. So I'm asking you as the county administrators to say, yes, go feed them, just don't have them out by the road. Any questions? Are you going to vote on it? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we will move to the ordinance amending Chapter 92 of the Lincoln County Code of Ordinances for Animal Control. Ms. Gilbert.
All right, Commissioners, this is an ordinance amending Chapter 92 of the Lincoln County Code of Ordinances. This is only an introduction of the ordinance tonight because this ordinance does include criminal penalties. They may not be voted on at the first meeting they are introduced, so this is for discussion purposes, to allow Animal Services to explain some of these changes. And then it will come back at the next meeting unless it needs to be pushed out further for a vote. So the majority of these changes are related to enforcement. It's been a extremely hard ordinance to enforce over the years, and I think Matt and Jana can speak to that better than I can. But it was very broad. There weren't a lot of specifics. There wasn't a lot of authority given to our staff members under this ordinance. And then one of the biggest changes in the ordinance was the addition of the dangerous exotic animals ordinances, which makes the possession of a dangerous exotic animal and a inherently dangerous reptile and inherently dangerous exotic mammal in Lincoln County. We understand that there are exotic animals in the county now. And there is a section in there that allows those who have them here now to keep them so long as they follow the requirements of the exotic animal permit and they register and keep in touch with our animal services. One of the other major changes was the breakout of the dangerous dog ordinance. It used to be one section all by itself. It was about 5 pages long, extremely hard to navigate. So we kind of broke that out into subsections as a sub-ordinance within the ordinance. So I'm here to answer any questions, comments. Jana and Matt are here to weigh in or answer any questions you guys may have.
Okay, does anyone have any questions?
I read this about a week and a half ago, so I may be a little bit, and I read the whole thing, by the way. So I would ask that you include placards on each of the resident entrances and exits instead of just the front door, and that they are very easily recognizable as there's a snake in here, and that we do what we said we were going to do 2.5 years ago, and that's notify the 911 center that when someone's dispatched there, they know at this residence that I'm going to, there's a dog, there's a dangerous dog, there's a alligator, whatever the case may be, so that the responding medic or fireman or deputy sheriff will know what he's getting into before he hits that door. Other than that, I thought it was very concise and complete.
Megan, I have a question. In 92.11.6, dangerous dogs from other jurisdictions, it says in A, it says an owner brings into the county a dog that has been classified as dangerous or potentially dangerous, has an obligation. Why does it say obligation and not say shall notify?
I'm updating that, and it's already in my working changes.
She did mention it to me, and we agree with that decision.
And Commissioner Mullen, you mentioned emus and ostriches.
Yeah, because poultry and fish are not, they're not a category that's included in the USDA guidelines, and so when we looked at that, that was one of my concerns, was we were kind of leaving that out because it doesn't really meet the one criteria, because it can be used as a livestock, so we need to kind of address that.
Okay.
The other one was with the lower critical temperatures for farm animals. I didn't see that we have a anything carved out separate for agricultural use, because I know when you get into cows and horses, there's a lower critical temperature that it's not going to apply to dogs, cats, or any of the domesticated animals that I'd like to see taken care of as well.
Okay, we can definitely add something for that.
And this was under the animal cruelty section, right?
That is correct.
Okay, all right.
Okay, anyone have anything else? Okay, thank y'all.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
no actions required right now, so we'll bring that back later. All right, so we will move to number 12, monthly finance report. Deanna's back up.
Good evening again. Tonight, we're going over the finance report through February, which is 66% of the year. We're working on closing March right now. Investment earnings through February, through the end of February, in the general fund were almost 2.3 million. We're very similar in amount as to where we were last year at this time. We have $198,000 in the pooled interest account at the end of February that was probably already allocated. We budgeted $1.8 million this year, and that is, because we've done so well with the interest, that's one spot that I have when we find we need some funds at the end of the year that we can appropriate more interest revenue. Ad valorem taxes for the year were budgeted almost 89 million. Tax collections through the end of February were almost 88 million. And we expect the remainder of that to be collected before the end of the year. And I did see the March numbers, and they've collected almost another 650,000. So we're really close to 100% for ad valorem taxes. Sales taxes for 25 were budgeted 33.4 million. We've received 6 collection months so far, and we're at 19.4 million. Total revenues in the general fund are 86% of budget. Expenditures are at 60%. Utility fund revenues are at 66, expenses are at 60, and solid waste fund revenues are at 104.99, and expenses are at 66%. The expenditures in the general fund will go up as we have booked the transfers to other funds this month. We met with all departments on their 26 budget requests. We've met with y'all several times. We're putting the finishing touches on it and getting the ordinance compiled, and we'll present it to y'all, I think, next month. Any questions?
Anyone have any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move into county manager's report.
Thank you, Chairman. Deanna was about to steal one of my report points, but she checked. So a couple project updates, Sheriff Training Facility. I want you to know that we have a design review meeting on April the 29th. So for those that are interested, contact John Henry. The construction project for the Citizen Center Auditorium is now complete. I just want to say we've completed a project. This is a good thing. Footers for the Sane Family Library are being dug this week, so we're making progress there. Pumpkin Center Stacking Lane is in construction, but there are some additional site assessments that are currently underway in order for the project to move forward, and so there'll be more to come on that. For Jennifer, I think Jennifer's still here. I just want to let you know it's what you adopted the proclamation tonight, but the library will hold its 100th birthday celebration from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday, May 3rd. I believe that's correct, Jennifer? So you're welcome there at Charles R. Jonas Library in Lincolnton. So if you can stop by to celebrate, please do so. And then last but not least, like Deanna said, we did hold our last budget retreat Friday, April the 11th. I appreciate all the commissioners' input on that, and the statements and the comments and the direction that we were given. And hopefully we'll be ready to present the final budget to you at the May 19th Board of Commissioner meeting. And then we'll have it over for open for the hearing. And then we'll be ready to discuss it in June. So that concludes my report, unless you have any questions.
I do. The April the 29th, when is that and where is that?
John, where is the location for that April 29th meeting? Be here.
What time, John?
I think it's 10 o'clock. I think it's 10 o'clock, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's 10 a.m., bud.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to county attorney's report. Megan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, brief update on the airport. I attended the Airport Authority meeting last Thursday, and they did vote to transfer their personnel. So that will be happening May 3rd. That will be effective then. Also, during that meeting, we discussed an email that I received from the FAA. So at the beginning of last week, we did receive an email that stated that the FAA had concluded their review and that we would be receiving a concurrence letter in the near future. That was a week ago. We still haven't received it, but working on FAA time, hopefully this week. So I have been going through all the leases. Wow, there are a lot. So I've been working through that so we can try and get some of that started for cleanup. And I've been working with Clay Henley, our new assistant county manager, on that. And let's see, what else do I have to update you on? Parks and Rec ordinance, that's the next ordinance we're working on. So I will start on those in the near future, hoping to have those in place before the summer really gets ramped up, because that will include the play beach. So that is all I have to report.
Okay. Is there anything any commissioner has to report?
Just that, I want to remind everybody that the senior game starts next Saturday, the 29th. 26th. Senior games are the 26th, and the opening ceremony will be in the morning, and there'll be things going on all day over at the East Lincoln Optimist Club.
All right. I have something. The Historic Preservations Committee, we had a meeting, since this is the 250th anniversary of the American Revolution, and our great historic county played the pivotal part in us beating the pants off the British. I would say that the little building, and I can't remember the name of the building over here at the battlefield. The battlefield.
Oh,
The battlefield. Yeah, at the battlefield. The little wooden building. Anyway, the parking lot is in disrepair. And they're looking at options, and Josh has already left, but they're looking at some different options to maybe patch the parking lot before they start their celebrations in June. So I will be coming back with y'all on a request, probably for some funding to do that. I'm trying to work it out with the city to see if they will use their manpower to patch it, if we would pay for the asphalt. Try to do some joint elbow greasing on this project. So.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, now we'll move to vacancies and appointments.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion for appointing several to the Community Protection Team, Child Fatality Protection Team. We'd like to appoint Paula Williams with the Emergency Medical Services Provider. Justin Link is the local law enforcement sheriff's office. Hunter White is the local law enforcement Lincoln Police Department. And Sherry Kell, a parent. And I'd also like to reappoint to the Central Iowa Workforce Development Board, Gazelle Buzo and Tony Simpson.
Okay, so we have those appointments made in the form of a motion. Do we have any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, so those appointments are approved. And we will move to item other business. Is there any other business to come before this board at this time? Okay, we will move into number 18, closed session. If whoever enters the closed session or requests makes the motion, if you would, please read.
I make a motion to enter in closed session pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143, 318.11A3 to consult with an attorney employed or retained by the public body in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege between the attorney and the public body, which privilege is hereby acknowledged.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Carpenter. Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. We are in closed session. Okay, we are back in open session. No action was taken, but we're going to have a motion by Commissioner Cecina.
Mr. Chairman and members of the board, the North Carolina General Assembly in 1969 developed House Bill 1324 to establish a Lake Norman Marine Commission. That Marine Commission has been around since that 1969. We have found in recent times that it has been less than effective and efficient, and I recommend that we issue a letter of intent to dissolve ourselves from the Lake Norman Marine Commission, and that the chair and the county manager and the attorney work out a letter to send to all the county managers, county commissioners, as well as legislators, Senator Alexander and Senator, you want to let me finish this, or do you want to do it? That we send it to Senator Alexander, Senator Sawyer, and Representative Heather Ryan. I make that as a motion, sir.
Okay, so we have a motion by Commissioner Cecina. Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, so we will get that letter put together and forward it to the proper channels.
Thank you, sir.
And just for the record, that date of withdrawal would be June 30th?
Yes, sir, I should have said that. Yes, sir, according to statute, it's at the end of the budget cycle, and that for us is June the 30th. And so we'll vote on this on May the 5th, according to our esteemed attorney.
All right, sounds good. Anything else? Then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion by Commissioner Carpenter. Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. We are adjourned.